Hello, my wonderful viewer, and welcome to my channel. My name is Judyowiti, and today we are doing things a bit different. Today we are doing a Q&A. And I wanted to do a Q&A because I wanted to tell you a bit more about who I am, why I'm passionate about mentoring young people, why am I passionate about leadership, faith, why am I passionate about family. And so let's get into it. I love Jesus. I am married with 3 children, 2 girls and a boy. The firstborn is in college, the secondborn is in high school, and the thirdborn is in primary school. I come from a family of 9. Yes, my mom had 9 children. I mean, it takes a strong woman to give birth to 9 children and bring them up. So I salute her. I am the 5th born, even though I am child number 6, because I was born after twins. Because when I see young people today, I see so much brokenness, and I can identify with that brokenness. I grew up in a polygamous home where my mom was the first wife. And if you come from Western Kenya, you know this, that once the second wife comes in, the first wife is tossed aside. And that has a whole lot of consequences for the children who are caught up in that situation. I watched my mom go through so much pain, and I watched her go through some hard stuff. And as children, we also went through a lot growing up. And that changes you. So as a teen and a young adult, I was confused, I was angry, I was depressed, I was rebellious. And I just got into a lot of stuff that was not good for me. I was just so broken. My healing journey started when I was 27 years old, when I accepted Christ into my life, you know. And when he came into my life, he started dealing with my pain. He started dealing with my anger, the rejection, the self-esteem issues, the insecurity. I learned to forgive and embrace what God had for me. I refused to be a victim of someone's bad decisions. I chose victor over victim. And God started writing my story. That is why I cannot talk about my life without talking about Jesus. There is no me without Jesus. He changed everything for me. He gave me a new lease on life. He gave me beauty for ashes. Now, as life went by, I began to notice young people around me going through the same issues that I went through. You know, the anger, the pain, the hurt, the rejection, rebellion. And they were making the same mistakes that I made. And so I started speaking with them and telling them the things that I've learned along the way and how they can find healing. And I started encouraging them. And that's really where my passion began. You know, God expects that after we have been comforted, that we will comfort others. 2 Corinthians 1:3-4 says, "All praise to God, the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. God is our merciful Father and the source of all comfort. He comforts us in all our trouble so that we can comfort others. When they are troubled, we will be able to give them the same comfort God has given us." You can't really deal with young people or mentor them without speaking about family. You know, eventually you start speaking to parents because prevention is better than cure. You know, these issues that these young people have, there's an origin to them. And if I can share the things that I've learned along the way, my experiences, even the things that I've learned as I've raised my own children, or the things that I learned from mentoring young people. I can help prevent another young person from being broken, because it's easier to prevent brokenness than to fix a broken person. If you know me and you follow me on social media, then you know that, that I am passionate about good leadership, because leadership is a matter of life and death. The quality of life that people have is directly proportionate to the quality of leadership that they receive. I mean, we see this in Kenya. People perish when they lack good leadership, because leadership is also about fairness and about justice for all. And where does this passion for good leadership come from? Again, growing up in a polygamous home, you see a lot of inequality. Some children are treated more equal than others. I saw my mother treated less than. And I think that's where my hate for inequality comes from. I hate it when people are treated unfairly. I hate injustice. It's why I have compassion on the less fortunate. It's why I feel for people who are sidelined and, pushed aside, because I've experienced it. It's why I help people. And we see it in Kenya, right? Where certain tribes, certain families and certain individuals are benefiting more than others, so much inequality, so much injustice. And so for me, how can I help mentor a generation that will think different? A generation that upholds the dignity and value of human beings, all human beings, because that's how God sees us. We are all the same. A generation that will move from the me syndrome to us, a generation that loves God and fears God. Because when you love God, you will hate injustice. You cannot claim to love God and not hate injustice, because God is a God of justice. And those are the reasons behind the things I speak about on this channel. Now, in conclusion, I want to say this, that your story matters. When you speak about your story, you give others a voice. You give them permission to speak. And God will use your story to bring healing and hope to somebody else. So own your story, just don't let it define you. And remember, God is who He says He is, and He will do what He says He will do. So trust Him. He will give you beauty for your ashes. That's all for today. I hope that you've been encouraged. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.